Breaking news. Governor Monday Okpebholo suspends traditional ruler over rising kidnapping killings in the community. My country people, wonders shall never end. The security structures in Edo State has failed beyond words. Now imagine a governor. Imagine a governor suspending a traditional ruler. We too dey joke for this country o. Maybe he's fighting the traditional ruler, probably those that did not support him during the election. But the traditional rulers, are they the ones that ought to stop the kidnapping? I know everybody has their own assignments, everybody has their own role. But is the traditional ruler the chief security officer of the state? Or what is the job of the commissioner of police in Edo State? That a whole governor, who is the chief security officer of the state, will be suspending a traditional ruler. Mind you, this same Governor Okpebholo disbanded and disarmed the vigilante group in Edo State, in Uromi. So when you disbanded those vigilante group, how did you expect the community to be safe? When you disbanded the vigilante group, you stripped them of their arms and their rifles. When are these politicians going to face reality and stop putting blame on others? It is so funny because it's looking like a political game to me. It is looking like a political game. Obviously, the traditional ruler might be supporting the PDP in the state. That is why the governor had to suspend him. But suspending a traditional ruler because of insecurity is quite laughable. The traditional ruler is not the commissioner of police. Neither is he the CP of police in charge of Edo State. He did not promise them insecurity when he was campaigning. It was the governor that promised Edo people insecurity. And it was also the governor that said he was going to fight insecurity, the one he promised to the people of Edo State. So the governor should note that he has his own powers. He has his own limits. You know, these traditional rulers can only be suspended by the king of the community, which is the Oba of Benin, because they are traditional rulers, because they are under traditional council, and their head is the Oba of Benin. The governor does not have any rights whatsoever to suspend a traditional ruler. Left for me alone, politics is politics, and then tradition is tradition. Anything that relates to the customs and the duties of the land should be left with the king. The king should be the one suspending who he feels is not doing well, not the other way around. So I think the governor is somehow playing some kind of politics, because if the governor is really serious on stopping kidnapping in Edo State, on stopping killings and insecurity, the rising killings in communities, he knows what to do. But unfortunately for him, Monday Okpebholo is acting like someone who is playing a script that is being written by someone else. We don't really know who gave him that script that he's playing, but we know that he is playing a script of somebody else. Okpebholo, as a governor of Edo State, does not have a will of his own. He is doing the will of his godfathers, or probably those that are controlling him, probably those that put him in that position. The security structures has failed. Yet Okpebholo disbanded vigilante groups that ought to protect these communities. They are the ones closest to the people. Even before the arrival of police, in any situation, the vigilantes are there to curb the situation before the arrival of the police, or to attend to emergency situations, security situations. But after what happened in Edo State, Okpebholo said no. Now look at what's happening. Rising killings, rising kidnappings. What do you expect when you disbanded vigilante groups? How are the people going to protect themselves? And then if the people want to rise up and protect themselves, it will be another issue, because they will be arrested for even doing such a thing without involving the police. Yes. So I don't think Monday Okpebholo is ready. If he's ready, he will buckle up. Rather than suspending traditional ruler, the traditional ruler is not the cause of insecurity in Edo State. He was not the one that promised insecurity. I know that the traditional rulers also have a role to play in this. They also have a role to play in this because they are like fathers, in their various communities. So they have a role to play in their various communities. So if he's suspending him, well, that is on him. But Monday Okpebholo ought to do more than suspending the traditional ruler, because suspending the traditional ruler will not stop these kidnappings, will not stop these killings in Edo State. It will not stop anything. You can only suspend him, but these things will still continue. What can you do, Okpebholo? There are things to do. Things you ought to do. Equip the youth. Let the youth of these communities, of these affected communities, be equipped. Let them be empowered by the government so that they can protect themselves from strangers, from those that wants to raid their lands and take over their homes. They should be able to protect themselves, because obviously the government, they are not ready to protect the people. They are just there to trade blames on people that, in fact, they are just having a lot of misplaced priorities. So if the governor knows what's best for Edo people and he really wants to fight insecurity, the one he promised he would deliver to the people of Edo State, if he really wants to fight it, he knows what to do. The first step is to equip the people so that they will be able to protect themselves in case of any emergency situation. Even before the arrival of security agencies, of the police, they can be able to handle things themselves. It will really go a long way for the people than all these things that Okpebholo is doing. It's quite laughable. I don't know if this man somehow may have offended Okpebholo, or probably did not support him in the past elections. That's why this suspension is coming now. But then I don't see any reason why a traditional monarch should be controlled by the governor. The governor is the politician, and yes, the governor is like the supreme in the state. But in terms of traditional rulers, they have their head, which is the Oba of Benin. So I don't really know what's going on. Some politicians are just, they are just so unbelievable. They are just so unbelievable. And the thing is, most of these days, traditional rulers too, they failed in their own duties. They failed in their own duties. Most of them have failed in their own duties. Because some of these politicians you see, most of them are being used by, most of these traditional rulers you see, most of them were used by politicians to talk to their people and all of that. And at the end of the day, they use and dump them. Yes, they use and dump them. And traditional rulers, some of them are also compromised. Some of them, they are the ones that even sell out their people. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this? The thing is, traditional rulers also have a role to play. Their first role should be protecting their people, protecting their communities, and not collecting money from Fulani people and allowing them into their communities. And then when something happens, they start crying foul. The traditional rulers should learn how to discipline themselves. They should learn how to take responsibility, because the lives of their people are in their hands. So guys, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this.